Uncle Joey here, my main little brother, Lee Syatt. First off, we got to open up on an apology. I get a call Monday from Lee Syatt about 4 o'clock that he came over here and the lights wouldn't turn on and the air was off. He turned on the computer. You know, Lee confuses me with his jargon. So let me tell you the other side. Sunday, I have a great weekend with the family. I get off the antibiotics. You know me. I'm free and clear. I'm doing some kettlebells. I'm walking the neighborhood. Sunday morning, I go to jiu-jitsu, 12 o'clock class. Great day. I breathe. I get beat up. No different than any other day. Monday, I go, let me go back there. And I had a meeting on Tuesday. And we had episode 400 Monday night. We had Esther Koo, and we had Dice tonight. So we had the weekend planned. Everything is beautiful, ready to go. I go to jiu-jitsu at 12, and I stay for the mobility class. It's a little hot here, but I'm not blaming it on the heat. During the mobility class, I feel a little bots. I feel a little bit...
in your stomach or where?
My whole body. Like you ever doing something and your whole body just feels like it just goes... Zzz, zzz. So you shake it off a little bit. I bring a watermelon protein drink, 29 grams of protein. You mix it with 16 ounces of water.
Okay.
Just to calm me down for a little while, and I drive home. On this particular day, I had drank that already, but Lee, I was thirsty. So I go to the gas station by Alberto's, and I get a water and some horrible tasting Gatorade. Like I haven't drank Gatorade in 20 years.
Not all sugar.
So I just get Gatorade because it's a hot day, and that's what people say to do.
Oh,
to
yeah.
rehydrate yourself, and you have to...
Electrolytes.
First off, if anybody knows anything about anything, you got a Pedialyte.
Right, I've heard of Pedialyte when you get sick.
Yeah, Pedialyte when you get sick, when you have that type of... So, I'm driving home, and all of a sudden, my body's tightening up.
And it's scary when you're driving.
Oh, I'm making a left, I make a right, I get onto Burbank Boulevard. I'm driving home, and I feel that zzz, zzz in my body again. I get home, it feels like death. Now, when I was a young kid, I used to play basketball. Between the humidity and being out there all day, all I would do is drink iced teas from the little dairy thing. Cardboard container, like that milk comes in.
No way.
Like the kids are missing. This is 1975, Lee. That's how iced tea came. There was only maybe 2 brands of iced teas. There was Lipton in a can,
okay,
which was not bad. Lipton in a can is not bad if you doped it up. Again, you got to take it home, put it over ice, squeeze some lemon, a little teaspoon of real sugar. Bam! You got yourself a nice iced tea.
You are getting sleepy. This is the new evolution of the future.
I've also had the weirdest situation happen this year. Now, last year, there's a lot of comics that don't like the improv chain. Out of all the people I've had problems with in comedy that didn't like me, one guy I grew a relationship with was the guy that first started me in the Dirty Show in Brea. Well, guess what? That guy rose in the ranks. So me and him started that room together. He taught me how to do marketing for comedy clubs in a lot of ways. He said for me to do a certain thing, and I added my twist to it. And that Brea room became successful. That's how all this started, with Brea. If you really want to get down to it. It was that one time a month in Brea, building that little first 300 people that would come down and watch Yoshi and watch Martin Moreno and watch Ricky Cruz and watch just Johnny Rock and watch just a bunch of fun guys. We would just have a fun time. Drive to Brea in a rush, smoke dope. We would cut banana bread and put it in the back. You remember that, right?
I think I came right after.
Well,
this
you taped the CD there, didn't you?
Yeah. That's where we taped the CD.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it really solidified. So while we were there, he grew. And he grew again, and he grew again. Well, you know what, man? I booked one of his clubs, and I had to cancel because of a movie. Or because of Marin or something. Something happened, I had to cancel. And I went back the next year, and you know what, man? I went up there for terrible money. Now, I could have done 2 things. I could have raised my hand and canceled it again, or I could have had my agent call back and renegotiate. I thought about the situation for a minute, and I go, you know what? I agreed to this. I canceled. I profited on the movie. Now I gotta. What's the line you hate from Pink Floyd?
Reap what you sow. Oh,
I gotta reap what I sow. So guess what? I went up there and I did good on stage. I worked as hard as I could. And Saturday, before I got on stage, the manager comes in and he goes, "Hey man, you got a call in the office." And I went to the office and it was that guy from Brea. And he goes, "Hey man, I talked to the club and I looked at the numbers. I'm giving you a bonus because you stood up to your deal. Thank you very much. And I'm going to give you a bonus in all the other clubs for you sticking to your deal." I didn't say a word, Lee. I could have been a scumbag and had him call up and bumped him for what? The extra nickel? The extra $8.50?
And it's so short-sighted. It would have been short-sighted. Like,
you know, you agreed to something, now you got to do it. You were short-sighted, you canceled, you got
it's
this
always
movie.
weird when people ask for money. I never want it. Like, that's... it's awkward.
You know, Lee, you live and learn. Like
Oh,
this.
no.
The other night, Lee told me he got wings from where?
Pizza Hut.
Now, wait a second. No.
Okay, I went to Big Wings once. I don't like Big Wings.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The one I had an experience that was not good. Buffalo. There's no Buffalo Wild Wings that close. You one time, for your honors, for Exhibit A, one time you had Pizza Hut at your daughter's event, I think, and it was delicious.
She's 3. She wanted pizza. When you're 3 and you want pizza, first of all the pizza's so bad in this town that it doesn't matter. The reason why I got Pizza Hut is because on Friday at school, they get Pizza Hut. So when she told me she wanted pizza, I got Pizza Hut. Did I enjoy it? I thought it was garbage.
I didn't see you saying it was garbage.
Well, I can't hurt her feelings and say this pizza sucks.
She doesn't know if you eat all the slices.
She eats the cheese. My point taken, that was the only time I ordered Lee, because there was a 3-year-old that wanted pizza, and I wanted to get her the same pizza they eat at the school.
Well,
I would never,
well, then I'm a 3-year-old at heart.
ever in my wildest imagination, just because of something embedded in me, would I disrespect who I am at any level, at any point in my life. Even when I was doing 8 balls of blow and I had no respect for myself, would I disrespect myself by eating that pizza and letting people know I gave up on society? So you just called down there and got 6 wings, and they
No, I
delivered
got 8 wings, and I picked it up.
8 wings. You went all the way down there for 8 AIDS-infested
I was
skinny
already
wings.
there, and they were good. They were big wings.
I just can't believe that. You have no idea. That you see the workout he posted today, guys? I got to be honest with you guys. Half you guys that listen to the podcast cannot do that workout he did today. And I know somewhere Lee stopped and breathed heavy.
No.
But I will tell you, a lot of people can't do that. That's what pisses me off about Lee.
It's heavy the whole time.
That at this age, he puts this much work in to go over there and get yourself 8 wings that are not only... I mean, listen, we're all trying to be individuals here in this time of fakeness. You know, if you were watching this, guys, I was trying to explain this to my wife. My wife is a Gentile. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it was a retardation. I don't know if it's because my grandmother was married to a second cousin. I don't know what it is. But when I was a kid, I didn't really care for what society cared about. There was just something weird about the media to me growing up. I didn't like how they'd say things. I didn't like how they'd interview people. I don't know, Lee. I was always a weird kid.
It just didn't add up to you.
You know, as I got older, I didn't like Saturday Night Live. I didn't believe when people come up to me and tell me these things like I'm looking at them like, and I feel like there's a lot of people like that, you know, and just sometimes we all do. When I went through that divorce, that's all I thought about. You know, I was involved with my daughter in the divorce, and my feelings were hurt, so all we had to do was talk for 3 minutes, and I would tell you about my anger, and we're going deep this weekend, you understand me?
But it's actually where we went for our first anniversary.
Now, when you go to these beach places, do you go on computer sites, Expedia and stuff like that, and check it out? I'm just curious. I want to see what you do.
Absolutely, dude. I spent so much time.
Now, what website do you go on when you want to travel?
I went on all of them. I went on Trivago, which I kind of like, except when I went on, it said there was a certain deal, and then when you click on it, suddenly it's not available. What I actually did, and this is how we actually got it the first time, and you're going to think I'm a cheap bastard, but it actually worked out. They all have these things like, we're not going to tell you where you're going to stay, but it's this star level. So we did that 2 years ago, and I literally spent 14 hours one day looking at different things. I told you I wanted to go to Palm Springs, but you're like, that takes 3 hours some days, so I was like, I don't want to drive that long. So, and I decided on Newport.
Listen, who wants to go to the desert? A horse with no name. You live in California. Who wants to? What are you gonna do in the desert? Walk around, get bit by a snake?
But we don't do anything anyway. We just like hanging out.
You just like hanging out and get room service and watching TV. I ain't mad at you.
So that's at 2 a.m. I think it was actually the night I took acid. Yeah, at 2 a.m. I was just like, I'm just gonna do one of those deals again, and I got it's a beautiful hotel. It's like the Fairmont Newport, and I called up at 2 a.m. high on acid, and I was like, hey man, we're here for our anniversary. Can we get a nice room? He's like, oh yeah, I see on here you have a such and such room facing the pool area. I was like, can I get it high up? He's like, sure. I called it 2 a.m. high on acid.
So let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
How high do you want to get? What if there's an earthquake? You and Paula got to jump. Like two mooks in Mookville. You get the first to the second floor.
You can't get because then there's parties and they're walking around and they're loud people. We don't want to be away from
You're
that.
facing the pool anyway. You're not going to really sleep late, and it's a bungalow beach. You're going to hear people.
No, it's up high. It's good. And then
what if there's an earthquake? You got to jump.
No, I can't live like that. Because you know what happened? Today I was driving back from Pasadena, and they have those highway overpasses and underpasses where you're either on big stilts or you're passing under a highway. And as you're doing it, you're just like, I'm going to die one day going under one of these because it's just going to fall off and smush me. Or I'm going to be on top of it and it's going to fall and it's going to crash and fall. So you can't let that fear ruin your life. Get a higher room.
Again, what if you're on the 6th floor and there's a fire? You got to jump, you and Paula. Get the 2nd floor. Cut a deal, will you? You want to be up there. Last week I checked into a hotel. They put me on the 12th floor.
That's a good floor.
I just mad dogged the guy. He goes, you kidding me? Put me on the 2nd floor. Put me on the 12th floor. There's a fire. I got to jump out. 2, 3, you could jump and live. If there's an explosion on the 3rd floor, God forbid, you've been a good soul, you won't blow up. That gives you a chance to wake up, pack up the sleep apnea machine, and take your best jump. You understand me? Jump, keep your legs light, you'll break both ankles, but you live. The 12th floor, you ain't going to live, dog. You're going to go down like a missile. You're going to have a heart attack in the air. I know you.
Yeah, but what do you say to the person on the phone? You're like, hey, man.
No, listen.
What if there's an earthquake?
I like the 3rd floor.
Like the 3rd floor?
That's right. I feel lucky. I feel more comfortable on the 3rd floor. What would it cost me to put me in the 3rd floor where it's quiet? That's how you work. If there's an emergency, and it's even better if you're closer to the back door. You know why?
You can sneak out.
They smoke dope out there and sneak back into your room, and they blame it on the dude on the 4th floor because you woke up to the 4th floor and smoked a joint. They don't have cameras in those hallways. A lot of times I go to these towns and freeze. What do you think? I'm going to walk around like Johnny Mook? I'm in a nice hotel. I look around. I open up the door. I take an elevator up. I do a bunch of stunts. Sometimes the roof is open.
You cause terror. Someone's like, I don't smoke pot. I promise.
Listen to me, dog. I'll go up to
it's like an AA floor.
I'll go up 3 or 4 floors up, go into the hallway and smoke dope and leave the joint on the pipe for them burning. And then get on the elevator. I'll put mint in my mouth and take 3 hits of the vapor pen, and I'll get back to the elevator. As long as I get to my room unseen, within 10 minutes, the whole hotel will be on the 12th floor. That's how you run. Maybe you could smoke reefer when everybody's hip-hop would do. Smoke reefer when you have blood blisters in your throat. And you watch them blow up as you're doing bong hits. That's when you're smoking pot.
I don't want to share.
You don't want to what?
Why are your blood blisters in your throat that are exploding? Stop smoking for a few days. What?
No, that was years ago. Not blood blisters. You got those little throat polyps. and they stick on there. When you cough out, they spit out like a little piece of meat behind your tooth. And you take them and you break them up and you sniff them. You never broke up a throat polyp. What's wrong with you? One of those yellow balls of death that comes out of your throat?
I've never lived, I guess.
You'll be smoking up some throat polyps. I don't even know it. TJ Maxx to the fat man section. One time I bought a magician's. One time, I was opening up. I was doing the Sunflower Casino, one of those, and I was opening up for Diane Ford and Dave Attell. And she says, "You're emceeing, so you got to wear some type of tuxedo." So they had no tuxedos. I went down to Melrose. I had the small 50. All they had in my size was a guy that was a magician. And decided to quit, so he went down there and dropped off his gear.
A fat magician?
I don't have the tux. I lit it on fire. But I still have the picture of my magician top. Here's where it gets even worse, guys. And guess who's there? Both Dave Attell canceled. And whoever else I was supposed to work with. I was opening up for Tim Allen. How embarrassed was I? Indochino. 100% merino wool suit. This Indochino, Indochino.com. Do me a favor. Go to Indochino.com. Indochino. Go to Indochino.com right now. Anna came through for me this week. But do me a favor, Onnit's always on top. Onnit never stops. But you know what? Go to Onnit.com. Go to Onnit.com. I love you guys. See you next week. Thank you for the love and support.
What song did that open? What Adam Sandler movie did that open with?
I'm not sure what that Born on the Bayou.
Maybe it was Waterboy.
That's a bad jam. That's one of my all-time favorite. That makes me feel like American, that jam.
Really?
Yeah, that song fires me up in the morning.
Do you ever do that? Like, I know you must, but like something with that, I immediately thought of Waterboy. Like when you hear that, do you ever think of a movie it was in, or like when you hear songs, where do you go?
A movie is a soundtrack. Music is a soundtrack of your life. The songs that really thwart you, that throw you for a loop, that make you catch your breath and go, "Wow, I was there that day," or "This is what happened that made me like this song," or "This is what made me relate to this song." That's always that. Like but this particular song was in one war movie I had seen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what war movie. Could have been Apocalypse Now. I don't know. Maybe In a Great Neighborhood. You know, it wasn't a great neighborhood, but I remember the sun was shining that day. And on the corners, the reason why I really liked going to my mom's dry cleaner at that time was because on the corner there was an Italian ice pizza joint that had the pizzas out on the racks and the Italian ice. And I would go in there and he'd give me a sherbet Italian ice with Sprite, a 7-Up, and you shake it up really good, like you stir it, not shake
like
it up.
lemon lime Italian ice?
Yeah, no, it was a sherbet.
Oh, like orange.
And they called them something, like something up there. But that's why I went to the Bronx, and they'd give you a long spoon, and you had to beat the ice cream.
And you were allowed to walk around that area.
I had a permission to walk to the corner. But I would go, "Hey, I'm going to go into the store," and then I would come out the side door. You know, like places on a corner have two doors? They have like one door going in and one going out.
Yeah.
So I would go out the side door, walk up the street, then walk back in that door and walk out the side door.
Just so you didn't break the rule?
Yeah, what took you so long? I was in there. There was a big line. Gino was talking to whoever. I don't remember if that's a guy's name or what. But I remember those memories in the Bronx and the dry cleaners. I remember the guy upstairs. There was a black chef. The black chef doubled as the ironing guy, okay? And his name is Mike, and I really liked Mike. I talked to Mike a lot. He had just come back from Vietnam. And Mike was the guy that took the clothes off like these pseudo hangers and then put them on a thing, and he would press them.
Yeah.
That's what Mike did.
My grandfather was a dry cleaner for his entire life.
Yeah, that's what he did.
You never really talked about the dry cleaner. Like, how long did she have it for?
Maybe 2 years of my youth. It had come along. What happened was it was a partner's, it was somebody else's, and then when they became partners in the numbers operation, it was a co-pseudo office for my mother. It was her little pit stop in the Bronx. She'd go upstairs, check out the numbers. But that guy, Mike, we used to call him Black Mike. We used to call him Mike Black because there was two Mikes.
Okay.
So it was a Negro Mike, Mike Negro. Mike Negro and Mike Blanco. Mike Blanco had something on the corner. He did something, and Mike Negro was the dude who ironed the clothes. But at 3 o'clock, Mike El Negro, no, I'm lying to you guys. At about 11, Mike El Negro would go upstairs and cook for the bookies upstairs. So upstairs on top of the dry cleaner wasn't a small bookie office. it was a central office where all their bookies called in their action.
So like a main bookie?
It was like a main bookie. So my mom split the details with this dude named Nelson. Nelson was a good friend of my father's. So it was maybe on the 3rd floor. And Nelson would have a blackboard. And he would have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 9. And under that, they would yell numbers at him. 604, $10. And he would look to 604 and put $10 on it. And if you called back and said 604, $20, then that board had $10 on it already. If you called $30 on it, it became 40. And they watched that number until money was too high on that number. Then they called $250,000. Now, in gambling terms, if somebody's listening to this and they're a bookie, I don't know how big this is, but as far as somebody, $250,000 minimum on a Sunday and
That's
Saturday
$1 million a month.
in college basketball. Not what he was losing,
but just betting.
what he was betting.
Right.
Okay. John Gotti, well known, degenerate. $12 million a year, making, netting, and probably gambling $6 million of that away.
Jesus. What about? And I don't know him at all, but Ben Affleck has been kicked out of like almost like a ton of casinos. Like that's what you're saying. You don't want it on display, and he's on TMZ getting kicked out of casinos for playing too much blackjack.
Is that true?
Yeah, he got kicked out. I think it was the Hard Rock last year. He wins too much money.
Well, he's not a degenerate gambler. If he wins, obviously he's doing something. Maybe he gets accused of counting or something, whatever. But my point being that you don't want people to know you have that habit.
Right.
Or you don't want your, you can't back the if I put a bet in tomorrow for $75,000 in Vegas, I don't know if they look at my tax returns. I'm not sure. But let's say I win and I win $75,000 in Vegas. Call me up and go, hey, so you make $100,000 a year, but you had the balls to bet $75,000 on a football game?
I think over
right?
$500. I think you have to sign something.
Yes.
Jesus.
Well, no, yeah. 6 something. Oh, yeah. When I was a kid and I used to go to the track with Mr. Bender, I would be that kid. I would use their winnings to my Social Security card.
And it never came back on you?
No, I was 13. How much could I make in a year?
Cats are weird, man. I told you I had a lot of fun looking after your cats, but I've always been a dog person because I was allergic to cats, and then all the cats that I interacted with were like the hiding cats, the cats that you never see when you're at their house. But I don't know what it is about your cats that just, I'm not gonna say they're like dogs, but they play.
I gave them love.
Yeah.
I gave them a lot of love. I saw where they came from. I don't know either. I sit there some nights and I look down, there's 3 of them looking at me, and I try to give them more love. I get on my hands and knees, and I'll go get a brush, and I'll brush them, and I have no problem with them. We have to give one of them Prozac. Superbad is just an attack thing.
Really?
He just keeps fighting with Harry all night. You hear it. Back and forth, the noises, and this was never like this until Fidel died, because they created a power vacuum. Superbad beats up on Demi. Superbad's main war is with Harry, and they go back and forth. Some weeks Harry runs away from Superbad. Some weeks Superbad runs away from Harry. Because the more love I give to these comics, the more love I give to these people that listen to the podcast, is the better I get as a comedian and a human being. A lot of comics don't know that. Look at all your really successful comics right now. Bill Burr has a young tribe of comics that he helps and works with. Joe Rogan, Jesus Christ, I'm indebted to him, Ari, Duncan, Tom Segura, in one way or another. And that's what I saw last night. When I was looking at all those people eating and smiling, people chewing those ribs and people giggling, he had this Christmas sweater on. I didn't feel, like I had to be anything. Or you follow what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, you weren't on. You didn't have to be on. What you have to be a lot.
It wasn't being on. It was that nobody was there being something that they weren't. Joey Karada here. Those are the people. I could take you to those parties, Lee. I could take you to a rooftop party overlooking Los Angeles, and people eating gluten-free kumquats. And we know what I was drinking last night? Strawberry lemonade, and I had a glass of water.
And you had a better time.
And I had a better time. So there's 2 types of parties I can take you to. A party where people want to see you. Listen, Lee, how long have we been together?
5 years.
How many premieres have I gone to? Just the one.
Yeah.
And it was because I was in the movie. Do I go to parties?
Not
Do I go
usually.
to rooftop parties? Do I go to bars to sit in VIP section and drink champagne and bottle service? Is that what I do, Lee?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And I could go to them. I'm just embarrassed. I would be embarrassed. A little Irish bar in the corner. And one of my first dates with Terry, I went in there. I had no money. It was a $50 Rudy. Oh, Thursday nights was the Commerce Casino.
Oh, okay.
Rudy Moreno. So Rudy, I knew Rudy had something, but I think Tuesday nights he had the Irish House. And one night I went down there on one of our first dates with Terry. And I was on stage rocking and rolling, talking about blow. And when I was on stage, some guy threw his wallet at me.
Why?
I don't know. And when I got off stage, there was a little door there, and I opened it up, and I took a $100 bill and gave it to the guy and put the 100 in my pocket. He said, thanks, man. And I ran out of there with Terry. But I was out 3 spots a week.
How many miles do you think you were putting on your car a year back then?
First off, I didn't have a new car. I had a thing that was a nightmare from death.
Right.
And I would just drive, no brakes, no registration, no insurance. That's it. I just took my chance until it got towed. And that's when, hence the story. My apartment got towed because I lived in my car.
Right. But you were driving, like, for people who don't know, just the Laugh Factory to Universal City is probably like what, a 30, 40-minute drive?
No.
If traffic,
In those
going
days,
from
it wasn't
Suns-
that traffic. I did 8
okay.
o'clock at night. I put too much into this. Listen, and don't get me wrong. In 2009, I was not going to quit the business. I was going to quit an aspect of this business.
Right.
I wanted to turn it around. I wanted to get a day job, or at least I thought that. Because that's a fantastic dream for a guy like me, is going back to sell cars, is doing something like this at this point. Why, I don't know. For some reason, I have this stupid belief that, but what was the subject?
About not giving up.
You can't.
Right.
You can't. You can't. My knee is killing me. My knee is killing me. Do you know that? I can't even walk straight anymore.
Jesus.
I tore the cartilage, but I got a jiu-jitsu eyes for 3 or 4 more months. I'm up to like 3 5-minute rolls right now. If I could get 6 rolls in 3 months and start doing those 6 times, 5 minutes, I'll go down to 260 in no time. I want it before I go back to surgery and get out of shape again and have to start all over again.
Oh, Jesus.
You follow what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Sometimes we put so much effort, it's worth it. I want to go in there with stronger legs from the kettlebells. I want to go in there, you know what I'm saying? So the knee surgery is a lot easier. I'm not feeling bone on bone yet. I'm not dying. I'm not living on a leave. I'm not living on painkillers. It's not that type of pain. I'm not going to lie to anybody. It's just uncomfortable when I drive and my leg twists, stuff like that. Let me give some shout-outs here.
Okay.
To my girl, Carmelita, 69J, Danny Rodriguez, Dave Drancel, my man, the Australian Warrior, Andrew Burns, Dante Gazzinio, Polo Derek, and that's it. I just want to talk to these people a little bit and just
Hell yeah.
get it out there a little bit. And again, MeUndies, you'll feel more comfortable than ever before. MeUndies has a ton of different colors to choose from, and it's the only place you'll find styles for both men and women and the new signature design every month. They also just launched a boxer line, and it's like wearing nothing at all, only better. And they sent me these blue pajamas I wear now to sleep. There's air in there, and the holidays around the corner. MeUndies makes a perfect gift. Trust me, these are not your parents' stocking stuffers. So do me a favor, go to MeUndies.com right now /Joey, and right now and get 20% off your first order plus free shipping in the U.S. and Canada. Again, go to MeUndies.com /Joey to get 20% off your first order plus free shipping in U.S. and Canada. MeUndies even has a money-back guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you get to keep it and get a full refund. You literally have nothing to lose. If you would have ordered by December 13th, I think your undies would have arrived in time for Christmas. But hey, just tell them you can't come over for a few days. Go there right now. Go to MeUndies /Joey right now. That's MeUndies.com /Joey right now and get 20% off your first order of the world's most comfortable underwear.
I'm pumped. I don't know why, that just got me in the mood. I had the best. As a kid, I grew up, and my dad's best friends always had these great Christmas Eve parties, like this Italian family, and I used to go over, and they used to so many gifts. Like they had someone dressed up as Santa. They were giving me gifts like 20, 30 people. I knew them for my entire life, the Lombardos. They're like,
Where are they now?
they still, some of them are with my dad in Florida. Most of them still live on the East Coast, but now the kids who are my age are taking over the family business, so it's pretty cool.
What's the family business?
Lombardos, they have,
Food?
yeah, it used to be a grocery store, but now they have like a banquet hall and like a nightclub that's where my dad met the guy. So it's just, I was always jealous of Christmas as a Jewish kid. Because Hanukkah's not, I mean, it's okay. There's more nights, but it's not.
You don't get presents like Christmas?
No, you do. You still get presents. But it's not. The first time I ever experienced Christmas Day, my cousin married a Christian girl. And I went and stayed over when the kids were like young, maybe 5 and 3 or something like that. And
How old were you?
Maybe high school, maybe just going into high school, somewhere around there. No, because that was one of the first times I drank, so probably like late high school. And Christmas morning, I'd never seen anything like it. They had so many toys, and they were so excited that they fell asleep under the tree. They were just so happy. They were just like, and they still had toys to unwrap. And I've always just, Christmas it seems like the best. Like, there's Jewish people now who are doing Hanukkah bushes so they can have like a Hanukkah tree. And my mom hates it. Nothing pisses her off more than like a fake Hanukkah bush, because it's not real, but it's like,
it's just, some people's traditions or the culture. Like, for example, you went to school and the kids are talking about Christmas. You want to Americanize them in a way, and you get a Hanukkah bush. And I know where your mom's coming from. These kids are Americanized. You have to Americanize.
The end of the line. This is it. This is it. Gitas. How much you putting up?
There's a homeless kid that lives in that park. He's a nice kid. He comes over and he's not like this. He came up to me one time at the Roach Coach thing, and I had an ATM card, and I had already paid, but I had the baby. And he came over and he's like, I'm homeless. Can you help me out, Joey? And I go, dog, I have $3 on me. I'll give you the $3. You're halfway there. I got the baby and the wife with me. I had like an ATM that day.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw him another time, and I had to go meet somebody. Like, I was in a rush, and I was driving, and I saw him, and I pulled over. And then I saw him the other day with my daughter, and he came over, and again, I had no cash. I was feeding the baby at the park. And you feel guilty,
Yeah.
Especially this time of the year, you see him. Listen, man, I hate this time of the year.
Really?
Not that I hate it. It just doesn't feel right to me, And it hasn't felt right since, I don't know. It just, Josh Pacini, he's a black belt under Eddie in Chicago, runs a really great school, Josh Pacini. And he wrote a Facebook entry today about, while you're jumping up and down, there's people who have lost a loved one or, just having a bad time. I have a friend, Mike, in Texas, who I spoke to the other day, and he just mentioned, he goes, it's not going to be a great Christmas, And I didn't want to embarrass him, so I just sent him like $200 just to get, and I know he's got a kid, I know what it's like to be busted at Christmas, busted at Christmas. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. It's what the best Christmas I had was? I'll tell you my best 2 Christmases.
Okay.
When I was 7, I went to the bar with my parents. I had heard all these rumors of there's no Santa Claus. There's no such thing as Santa Claus. There's no such thing as Santa Claus. And I went to the bar with them, and we were having a great time. And when we got back to the apartment, when we lived in 205 West 88th Street, the f***ing house was covered with toys.
Aww.
And I know both of them didn't leave my side all night. So I really bought into the Santa Claus thing. The house, I still remember, we lived on 205 West 88th Street, and they moved the dinner table and put a tree in the middle of the living room. One thing about my mom was she had the uncanny gift to make those holidays even better. There's some people who do that. Like, they really know how to make those holidays even better. They really dive into it, And she was one of those people. Not just Christmas, birthdays, little things. She really knew how to make them better. And then the best Christmas I had, the Christmas I realized what Christmas was about, was the Christmas I spent in jail. Best Christmas of my life.
Those are 2 very different Christmases.
No pressure. It was really what Christmas was about. I want to see a Christmas where a family goes, you know what, this Christmas, there's no expensive gifts, there's nothing. We're going to get together, we're going to eat. but we're not going to give gifts. We're just going to eat and talk as a family. And blah, 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 blah.
It's amazing how much pressure gifts are, because that's the only reason people get upset during
pressure.
Christmas. Yeah,
It's pressure. Walk into a movie theater like a hooker walks into a bar. I stopped at 7-Eleven and got them from time to time, but I wouldn't walk. I didn't believe in walking at all.
Why not? It was just too hard.
I would make Rogan drop me off in front of the hotels. I got to park over there. You better not park over there. You want to be an Olympic walker? Do it on your own time. You drop me off in front of that hotel. I don't need to walk, Jack. Right there. Drop me off.
That was the worst part about Vegas when I was big. Because Vegas, you're just non-stop walking.
I wouldn't leave my room in those days. Once I had the blow, I would sit in that room till showtime. And right after the show, I'd run back to that hotel, lock that door, and do powder. I was in horrible shape, man. That's why that sleep apnea overtook me that strong. I used to fall asleep and burn the carpeting with cigarettes and joints. The carpeting in that apartment, I had to buy new carpeting.
Jesus. Did you ever, set the floor on fire?
Oh, my God. Terry came out one night and caught it just in time. The bottom of it had gone through. It was just, basically, a lot of times, I would just drop the cigarette and fall asleep for 10 minutes or something and then catch it and put the flames out. This night, it burned through the carpet.
And what would your excuse be?
I fell asleep. She knew I had sleep apnea. In those days, I used to go to bed at 2 and wake up at 3:30, and I was up. That's it. Up.
Would you nap later in the day?
What nap? What would I nap for? To wake up choking?
Jesus, not getting sleep is not good.
No. And then I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. You know how the club picks you up in the front of the hotel? They'll say, be down at 7:45, we'll pick you up. I sat on the couch and I fell asleep. And I started making those noises. And some guy woke me up and he says, he gave me his card. He says, I'm a physician. Do you live in town? And I go, no. He goes, listen, man, we just sat here and watched you. You're going to die. That's exactly what this guy said to me.
Oh, no.
He goes, I could tell by the color of your skin, you're not getting oxygen. You have no oxygen in your blood. He goes, I want you to go to the doctor when you get home. This is an emergency. You will not make the month.
Really?
He told me I was not going to make the month. He goes, you're choking in your sleep. And he started asking me questions. And he looked at me seriously in the eyes. And he's like, here's the deal. You have sleep apnea, but yours is extreme. Not to mention you're overweight to the gills. He was like, I hope you're not embarrassed by me saying this or angry with me. He goes, you're really overweight. And he goes, and you're just telling me that your blood pressure is really high. And I was lying to him. I'm like, oh, it's like 140. He goes, no, it's not. He goes, listen, let me take your pulse. And he was taking my pulse. And he's like, listen, you're 3/4 dead. You don't even know it yet. You're going to have a heart attack. Because every time you do that, you get stuck. Your heart does something. Not that it stops, but it puts a strain on your heart.
Jesus Christ. Just in a hotel lobby?
So, dog, I got home. I told Terry. She went down there with me. Because I kept saying, if they give me one needle, I'm out of there.
And you were just going to, take it? Just be like, eh.
No, I was just going to go down there and see what they said. And then they did the thing. Then they sent me in for a sleep study where you have to put the machine on. They take the air off and they see where you choke. And now they know. They give you an accurate number. And then I got a machine. And I tell you, man, within 60 days, it changed my life. Nobody tells me more about bad specials than yours truly, you. Yeah. Nobody comes here every week and goes, oh, my God, I watched this special. Jesus, it was bad. What was wrong with it, Lee? They shot it bad. They did this bad. They did this bad. Nobody, correct or no?
Right, yeah.
So, people ask it, when is the special coming out? When is the special coming out? Never fear the Reaper.
Yeah, and I'm going to finish whatever we have, and we'll send it over. We'll see what happens.
Maybe Netflix will pick it up. Maybe we'll add something to it. Maybe we'll dope it up.
Maybe even cut it down to 15, 20 good minutes or something.
Even I'll chop it down to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Put it on. I just don't want to release something that they're not going to be happy with me. I want people to be happy. I want you to be happy. Speaking of happy, underwear. It needs to be comfy, snug in all the right places. It's got to look good. And it's got to feel good. You just don't want to you just don't want underwear that are comfy. You want the world's most comfortable underwear, and that's MeUndies. I love you guys. Joey here with his main Goomba on his 28th birthday.
Thank you so much.
My main man, Syatt, What's going on? How was your birthday today, my brother?
It was good. It was when I first got here, it used to bum me out when I used to work on my birthday. Like I forget what comedian has a joke about it. I think it might be Jim Gaffigan. Having to work on your birthday sucks, but it's just it's kind of weird. It's kind of turned into like almost any other day, but it's just nice to get to talk to people that I haven't got to talk to in a while.
Who'd you talk to?
I talked to Steve Simone. I talked to Johnny Rock. I talked to my parents a couple times. Had lunch with Paula. It was
I had to talk you into that. You were gonna have a lonely birthday. Birthday parties in L.A. You know, you drive in traffic, and there's 8 people, 9 people. They half the people that don't show up. This guy shows up with this guy, and then the tab comes, and everybody's looking at each other with rabbit ears, and there you are. I always feel weird when I get a gift from somebody, especially somebody from like the podcast that listens to the podcast, and I know how you justify it. I justify it by knowing that we put out a free podcast and entertains them at work for an hour. And maybe if they didn't have a podcast, they would, if they didn't have Sirius is $100, I don't know, a year or something like that. So people give you gifts, and I don't mind those. They're very thoughtful when you're on the road. They're very thoughtful, and you bring them home, and you're like, that was a fucking wallet. I love my old wallet. You know what I'm saying? I stay with a wallet till I'm broke, and I throw it away. Once you're broke, then you throw the wallet away. It's a kiss of death. But if it's a good wallet, if you're okay with it, you're making a little money, keep the wallet. I don't care if the flaps are falling off. If it's bringing you geeters.
Wallet really begins when it starts falling apart.
Yeah, when it starts falling apart, then you got to make adjustments. You got to put that picture of grandma in the drawer instead of carry. She's dead, you cash the check, it's over. She's on some planet. Who knows? I don't know. It's just really weird that I just don't like spending birthdays. Ever since that birthday really solidified it with me. And like I said, I don't want to go to an amusement park. I don't want to have nothing. I don't want 100 happy birthdays on Facebook or MySpace. I just want you to just treat me normally. That's it. I don't want to go to a party. I don't want to wear kazoo hats. I do it at the house now for mercy. We got a Carvel cake tonight. Did we not?
Absolutely,
a small one.
Oh, yeah, it was nice.
And it was delicious. So the Diaz family tradition is when there's a birthday, you get a small Carvel cake, whether you want it or not. Whether you want it or not, that's it. That's the best we could do for you, is a small Carvel cake.
She was so excited. I came in, she was like, we have a surprise. There's cake. And I was like, oh. And there's nothing, I knew it was going to be a Carvel cake because it's you. Like, you never, there's no other cake for you. There's no vanilla cake. Do you ever have cake like that, or you're a Carvel man?
Listen, there's 2 cakes I like. There's that Carvel cake and that chocolate death from that restaurant you go to over in Burbank.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. I'm part of it. After a while, all cake tastes the same. It all tastes like somebody made it from Betty Crocker, and that drives me crazy. They're still delicious. And you know you're getting diabetes. Like, as you're eating it, look at the calorie count on it. It's like each apple pie is 600 calories.
I never even tried those. So are those like just little handheld apple pies
yeah,
at 7-Eleven?
Those Hostess pies that now everybody makes, like the ISIS makes one, took over the company. They make one, and then Hostess has made it since Jesus left Chicago. And all of a sudden 7-Eleven steals the idea.
How are the ISIS ones? Are the ISIS ones good?
They're not bad. They're not bad. I had one night in desperation somewhere. They're not bad. I love those apple pies. While my mother was alive, there was conversations about me moving down there because there was a school down there called Loyola, a private military school or some shit. And they had threatened me with that school. And Rodolfo always wanted me closer to him anyway because he always felt guilty about my dad dying. But when I was a kid, they were strict with their kids. And let me tell you something. We used to go to restaurants constantly because they had dough. So the old man would take us to seafood restaurants, and those kids were well-behaved. And I was always well-behaved because my mom took me to restaurants, and she would smack me out if I embarrassed her. But it's so amazing how I look back at the discipline they had, and I look at how they turned out, and it doesn't surprise me. If you came to me tomorrow and said, you know what, Joey, I love doing the podcast with you. I love eating cake and donuts that Becky brings. You know, it's bothering me lately. I'm going to go to law school. I love Paula. I'm Jewish. Let me become an attorney, and I'll become a podcast attorney. You come to me one day and go, let me get the rest of that acid. And you probably eat it by yourself and rent a hotel room in North Hollywood. Take 2 joints with you. Order a pizza and just sit there for 8 hours. and just think it over. That's what I used to do at that age, guys. I didn't take no ADD pill or Adderalls or no. I didn't take none of that stuff. I took microdot acid to make me focus on whatever I was going through. Let me see him go down there and put up the Gitas, because at the end of the line, this is it. This is it. Gitas, how much you putting up? What are you doing? I don't know if it's your, and I'm not insulting you, I don't know if it's your generation gap, because my wife is the same way. My wife and I had a discussion the other day in the living room about 4 in the morning. I got up and she came outside. And I said, something, can you imagine? Do you remember that night you drove me to the Martel Cartel to get coke? And you didn't really know, but you knew. At 4 in the morning, I left you in the car and I was in there for 15 minutes. And she goes, I remember sitting out there thinking, I should just leave this guy now, go home, pack my bags and leave. But she goes, I didn't know how it was going to play out. I go, look how it did play out. You ended up with a beautiful child. We ended up married. We're happy, you know. So at this point somewhere, you have to believe that there is some type of God out there. Because I'll never forget that night, her waiting outside. And I've never done that to anybody. Like, I've never, ever made somebody drive me like that over there. I've usually been the one that's driven. She was just, I was walking out the door to walk there. And she was pulling up. And she goes, where are you going to go? And I go, I got to stop by Dante's. And she goes, okay, I'll give you a ride. And I never forget how bad I felt. But life goes on. See, you never know where your relationship is going to go. That's it. I don't even know why I told you that, Lisa. Yeah. Just don't be scared. Somebody offers you something. If you love them to death and you've known them for 15 years, wait till they fuck them. What is your problem, Lee? 1,000 milligrams. That's how deep you went tonight, Lisa.
Yes, sir.
We're in deep training. Look at me. I'm in deep training, Lisa. My eyeballs are bleeding. That's
mine too.
Where you headed tonight? For the fight? You're not going to a strip club or a Chinese place? Nothing?
Tonight I'm going home to bed.
All
Like
right.
a gentleman. No, but it's what I would tell people is honestly do it twice, because like if you can do what I did and like calm, because people are gonna be scared, man. They keep hammering into us how bad drugs are, and that's all we ever hear is don't do drugs. And it's acid, and it tastes weird.
When you came to California, Lee, you never thought that you would be doing the acid at your job.
Never.
Okay, Lee? But let me explain something to you, Lee. Sometimes, do you think that when I woke up one day, I aspired to take a hit of acid, or I aspired to do heroin, I aspired to do blow? No, I never aspired. This was a very tiny white line. And I even took some off it just to do a taste, just to make sure, and then I did the other little centimeter of dust. And that was it. It's not like I went and got high the next day. You follow me?
You know what? I tend to like this stuff. I have an addictive personality, so I'm glad I'm scared of that stuff. Like I've only even seen cocaine like once, and it was just for like a second. Like I'm worried, like if I did that, I'd be doing it. Like
No. It's not. Doesn't fit you. You know, I bust your balls and tell you about heroin. I would never bring heroin around you.
Oh, I know.
I would never bring nothing around you. Number one, that I would never do. I would never bring meth in here. I would never bring blow in here. I wouldn't bring nothing like that in this studio. The worst thing I would bring in here is like a 2,000 milligram star. Which, worst case scenario, we go to the hospital. Like, whatever that girl, they give you some tranquilizers and you spend the night in there, you sleep the night. Then Obamacare takes care of the rest, you know what I'm saying? You put it on the arm with Obamacare. What do you want me to pay a month? Sometimes you eat an edible. Right or wrong? That's the worst thing that's going to happen to you. We don't drink in here, really. I'd love to get a few bottles of booze in here, but I know they're just sitting here. They were just sitting here. I'm not going to drink it.
We never drink.
It gives me desires that I don't need to understand. You follow me? That's it. It's July, what is it, 20th already?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's it. The summer's half gone. So yesterday, I go over to this place, guys. Pretty impressive. You go to Indochino.com, all right? And you click on location, all right? And let's say you're a man, whatever. and you're looking for suits. Let me tell you what happened. So you click on location, and all of a sudden you press in Texas, and let's say you live in an hour out of Houston. You press, all of a sudden it comes out Galleria Mall in Houston, and then it has, do you want to make an appointment? And you click that, and all of a sudden it says, when is the appointment? Blah, 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 blah. You make it, what time, and they said appointment set, and that's it. You go down there, you park, you walk in, and you know me, dog. I'm trying to look for a complaint. I get there, there's parking 10 feet away. I walk in, I tell the lady what my name is. I'm sorry, I'm 3 minutes late. She goes, don't worry about it. Boom, I sit down. She asked me 14 questions, 15 questions. You know me, I don't like questions, but I didn't get pissed off either. And then she asked me to look at the fabric. Then she asked me to look at the mannequins with the suits on and see what I wanted. Whether I wanted 2 buttons, whether I wanted the same color on the back of the collar. Just little things that you never think of. That now you have a choice putting there or not. The design for inside the suit, for the lining. Then for another 5 minutes they take 3 pictures of you. What you look like. I went on looking like in bleach with jeans and sneakers. I didn't know. I was in Beverly Hills, people, with white people. Real white people. They take a couple pictures of me. Boom. 25 minutes later, I'm out of there. I get a suit in 5 weeks. You understand me? Again, go to Indochina.com.
Indochino, right?
Indochino.com. What's the promo code?
Church.
CHURCH. And you get any premium suit for $399. You go to blueapron.com. With blueapron.com, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Blue Apron will deliver. Blue Apron knows when you cook with incredible ingredients, Blue Apron is bringing you the best. By Blue Aprons, if you don't want a billy goat sent to your house while they're cooking, you're washing your monkey. Ooh. And from Blue Apron, go ahead, Lee. You gonna say something? No?
It sounds delicious.
Check out this week's menu. Free. And you get free. BlueApron.com/Joey. With Blue Apron, go to BlueApron.com. Go to BlueApron.com right now. On it.com. Anyway, stay black. Lee, don't forget about happy birthday to my little brother, Ralphie May.
I'm gonna love it.
And we're headed to Las Vegas.
I'm so excited.
I'm shooting over tomorrow. You're shooting over Friday morning. I'm doing MMA Junkie as usual. Get a couple shrimp cocktails with my man Lee Syatt. Lee Syatt, you don't eat the oysters.
Nah, I should try them again, I guess.
What did I choke on last time? The shrimp cocktail.
You choked on the shrimp cocktail? Oh, yeah.
The shell.
I don't like that. Except for maybe the one little one at the bottom.
That's what it was. I bit into the bottom. You know me, I'm a gorilla. I almost bit my finger. I took some of the shell and I started choking on the shell. I tried to move the shell around with my throat, but I couldn't do it. That snake in me. You know, I was in the car today. I was getting home from somewhere. And the phone rang, and it was a friend of mine, James, to ask me a question. And it was funny. He started telling me about my daughter. And on paper, James is Mercy's goddad.
Right, we met.
And you met him, and I was really fortunate when it was time for me to pick a goddad. I had a couple options, you know. I could have picked Timmy. I could have picked George. I could have picked you, blah, 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 blah. And I just knew James a long time. James had a daughter, and in my world, if something happened, James automatically takes Mercy. You know, that's in my world.
When do you think about, like, godparents? Because when she first comes out, you must be so happy. Godparents is kind of
you know
a sad
when the baby's
thing.
born. You know when you knock somebody up. You know, if you're a guy like me, you'll think about godparents, okay? Because my godparents were everything. So James calls, and James sends stuff for her birthday, and James sends stuff throughout the year, and that's all great. You know, I mean, I'm really happy that he calls, and sometimes I go say hello to James, and she goes, hi, James, and she'll go, hi, Padrino, or she'll walk away, and that's the end of the conversation. I mean, besides that, she really doesn't know what it all means, you know. But Mercy is now 3. My daughter is 3. And by this time in my life, my dad was gone.
That little forehead you got.
In real life, I don't even know I am. I'm just a mook. I'm just the mook that hangs out with another mook.
Is that your title in your corporation?
Yeah,
Head mook?
Head mook.
The assistant to the assistant
I
moved.
thought about it since like 2 o'clock, since the phone call went down, my buddy. Because there's times I miss him. Like when we first started the podcast, it was about second chances. You know, I'm going to be 53 on Friday. And I wish I could apologize to him. I've tried to look him up on, the social media outlets, the Googles, but word on the street, he retired to Key West with the wife, and they bought a little house. You know what the sick thing about this, Lee? That this even wasn't over the money. This wasn't over the drug addiction. This is over my anger for him. Because I wanted him to be my white knight, my knight in shining armor. If anybody was going to come through from all my experiences with him, I thought he always was going to come through. When I saw him on that street, Lee, I thought all my problems were over. I thought I didn't even have to ask. You know what I'm saying? I thought he would take a look at me, and he knew me so well, he'd say, get in the car. We're going to my house, and we're going to wash you up and get you a job and get you a car, and we're going to get you on your feet. That's what I thought he was going to say to me. In turn, he didn't say any of those things. He didn't say he wasn't going to help me, but he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like until he started bringing up the coke and we started having little chats. And like I said, I didn't attack him right away for the coke. I milked him little by little, and then I would make a bigger, like clockwork. I would call him 6 times a week. When I was do those gigs late night, I'd call him at 11 o'clock at night. Theo, what's going on? Mm-hmm. We'd talk for 45 minutes about Cuba, music, testosterone. I was contacting him more than his kids. I took him to a few baseball games. I invited, I used to take him to breakfast with my daughter and my wife. I mean, I did everything I can. He was the second guy to show up at the hospital. My wife had the baby. I mean, and one day it just ended. What do you want me to do, Lee? Do you want me to go knock on his door and apologize and try to rekindle it? We gave it a shot. It didn't work out. I'm cool with that. He got to meet my daughter. He got to meet my wife. And he got to see me in a great place. He really did. I'm cool with my uncle because my uncle got to see me in a great place. He got to watch Grudge Match. He watched The Longest Yard. He watched Spider-Man. He came to watch me do stand-up. We had him on the podcast in the old place.
Right, the first office. The
first office. I mean, I was cool with my uncle. We haven't spoken now for a year. Do I miss him? Yeah, I miss him. But you know what, Lee? That just wasn't meant to be. And I live with that every day like a man. And listen, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not mad at all. I'm hurt that he hasn't reached out to my daughter. That destroys me because that's something that has nothing to do with her. That's what gets under my skin. That he could put an envelope. He doesn't need to send $10, nothing. Just a card to say mercy from your great uncle Lazaro, and I'd be straight with it. But for him to shut him and my wife off. My wife liked my uncle. My wife dug my uncle. She got a kick out of him.
No geek! Okinawan fathers, the sushi chef, respect!
That's it. Give me the sponsor sheets. What are you looking at me all weird for? What do you got tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I have a couple consultations.
Look at you. Johnny consultations. More consultations than consultations.
I know, it's been good.
It's funny. Ever since I've been reading up on these guys, at the end of my workouts lately, I just sit there and I breathe and I close my eyes and I look at my third eye like you're doing right now. And this headspace stuff, it's tremendous. Because let's be honest, most of your problems start with your mind. Fear, which I have a ton of when I go to jiu-jitsu, anger, that's me, stress, depression, sleeplessness. Go to headspace.com/Joey, all right? That's what I'm trying to say to you. What's up, Lee?
I'm doing great, man.
You're over there in your own meditation little world, aren't you?
I am. I'm doing the Headspace Take 10 program.
All right, beautiful. You need to start it. Also, who's better than you guys? You smoke a few roots, you eat your Blue Apron, now you're sitting there. You're thinking, Joey, I'm sitting here, I'm a little hungry. Boom! This Uncle Joey comes in. The church is also brought to you by NatureBox.com, dedicated to making smart, delicious snacks easy, okay? beautiful alpha brain, always making it happen, making you focus, 100% money back guarantee. We don't even want the product back, okay? You want kettlebells, they got kettlebells. You want the heavy kettlebells, they got the heavy kettlebells. You want hemp protein, they got hemp protein. You want
The DVDs, they have supplements, they have...
Listen, do me a favor. Go to honor.com right now. I can't help you with the DVDs, and I can't help you with the kettlebells. With the supplements, I'll get you 10% off your first order, all right? And if you do the Stay On It program, it gets delivered to your door. Listen, like Nature Box, to your door every month on the 1st. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. One beautiful podcast. The Church of What's Happening Now. Sunday, September 11th. Respect. You don't want to know. They'll never let you know. When you ask the reasons why. That's too deep. Turn that thing off. I just saw myself playing basketball in 1977 and shit with skinny legs. What's going on, Lee Syatt?
I never had skinny legs.
What's going on?
What's going on? I had a good week. I went with you to the show. I love going to comedy shows, man. I was thinking about it today. I've been going to comedy shows. I was one of the nerds. My mom, you're going to Gotham in a couple weeks. My mom, when I was 16, 17, took my brother and we went to Gotham. There's something, even before I knew anything about comedy or knew anything about going, it just, to me, it blows anything out of the water. Sports, you can't really see. If it's a good movie, that's maybe on par. But a good comedy show?
Do you anticipate for laughter?
Oh, I've never wanted a guy to die a slow death. I always go...
Anticipation laughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it got to a point like John Panette a few years ago. He passed away. Or a couple of years ago. My whole family and my family's best friend family, all the parents and stuff got along. We watched it. We went on New Year's Eve. I must have been 15, 16. We went and saw John Panette as a family for New Year's Eve.
See, I was more of a music guy at that age. I liked live entertainment, but I liked music, and I liked music at a big scale, but then again, I liked music at a small scale. Bands would rehearse at my mom's bar when I was a kid in the daytime. Spanish bands, whatever. There was one particular band that always rehearsed at my mom's bar in the daytime in the back, from 11 to 12 in the summertime. If you got the syringe, take a chance. I would work with different telemarketing people. And telemarketing people, when an account dries up, they go to different firms. So I was selling cigars, but the company I worked for decided they were just going to open up a cigar store and do the calls from there. They were going to change it all around. There was not going to be an early morning shift anymore. So I said, I got to find something else to sell. So I went and sold venture capital. What is that when you just invest money?
Yeah, VC, venture capital.
Venture capital people, because these people had this idea of a TV show, okay? But the TV show was going to get written by this writer who had written on this other TV show that was successful on Disney for 12 seasons, blah, 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 blah. These are the characters, and this is what the show's about. Not only are we doing that, and this is when I saw it from an outsider's point of view, they were also selling the merchandise rights
to the show.
So they were going to have a guitar, a drums, posters, lights. Right there, I knew it was a disaster. Because you're not focusing. They had one page about the storyline and 82 pages about the marketing they were going to do. Right there, I learned that. I learned it right there. Nobody taught it to me. I saw it. I saw how far ahead of the game people get.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's fun.
And, no, it's not fun.
It's not fun when it comes at
There's a difference. Right now, I'm visualizing my special. That's one thing, but I'm not visualizing in Madison Square Garden, Jay-Z jumping up and down.
No, but it'd be like if you were visualizing the special but not going out this month.
Right. Yeah, no. But when you want to sell those type of things, sometimes people get ahead of themselves. Well, think of the movie rights. And right there I know, because you look worried about money. Right there when you tell me that you're going to get this and get the movie rights and think of all the hats we could sell at the premiere at $22.50 a hat, right there I know you have nothing. And the people around you are cheerleading that. we used to do with Lee. Dun, 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 dun. All right, cut that right there, Lee. I want you to find Frank Sinatra. I want to be around.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you a little lesson. We're getting the party started, Lee. It's Monday, September 11th, and we're celebrating by doing a special podcast.
Right.
You know, out of respect, that's the least we could do. I don't want to come on here and have a wine fest or whatever. All I want to do is let them know I acknowledge them. Here you go. There you go. Who should say you like me? These are great. All these need is whipped cream. This is the best flavor I've ever tasted in my life. You know why? Because there's no weed in it. There's like no milligrams in it.
50, yeah.
But that chocolate from Chiba Chew is very good.
It is.
I just saw you go like this, like 2 times. Listen to Frank Sinatra's version. Uh-oh. Bam, we got 2 more bags of stars here. This turned into a good party tonight, see? I mean, you and I always get creative. And if I look, I know there's a hit of acid somewhere in this office. You understand me?
Let's hope not.
Who takes care of you like me, Lee? 'Cause nobody. Right now, you'd be at home with Paula somewhere, rubbing your feet, watching bad TV. This is James Brown.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. 3 completely different, well, Sinatra and whatever crooners. A black dude that's tremendous, and 2 crooners singing the same song with 2 different twists on it. It just goes to show you can cook spaghetti 50 different ways. You know what I'm saying, Lee?
I feel like Paula made me spaghetti carbonara last night.
What was in it?
It's like the one with a little bit of bacon in it, and then like a little bit of just butter and egg, and she just like...
With an egg yolk?
Yeah.
Or the whole egg?
I don't know. She made it.
And then you put Parmesan cheese?
She made it for me. She learned how to make it in Italy.
Italy. Look at you. She brought back recipes from Italy. It's got to be pasta with an egg, butter, more butter.
No, but we did. She only made one. Like we only had one bowl. We didn't get crazy.
Did you use spray butter in it?
No. She wouldn't.
For God's sake, I hope you didn't use spray butter. You get worse and worse.
She wouldn't. She made it. She wouldn't use spray butter. She thinks the same way.
Good. Does she take and throw it in the garbage?
Nah, she doesn't go to that level yet.
Well, don't ever have me over your house. Because the first time you go to the bathroom, I'll throw that thing out. I wanted a tan when I was a kid. I started throwing away people's ashtrays.
Why?
Because I hated them. I hated ashtrays. So when people weren't looking, I'd throw their ashtrays away.
Why didn't you like ashtrays?
My friend George,
okay.
I threw all his ashtrays away when he lived with me in Boulder. I'd ask him if he was crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I take your ashtray? I don't smoke pot. I only smoke pot. I smoke it outside.
What do about this time?
Yeah.
Like one night, Lee called and we had a 2-hour conversation about a drug network. Like Lee was asking me about my friend who sells coke, and I was telling Lee that I've known these guys in Hollywood. That I've been selling. I've known them since '97. I met them through a white Jewish dude named White Lightning. Then White Lightning used to sell weed. Used to date a black chick that used to be the same coke dealer, and he didn't know it. He thought they were just friends. And she had a kid, and she was half Jamaican, and he was this Jewish dude that you could just take money from him. At the time, Josh Wolf had an apartment in his building, and he would be very paranoid about hiding his weed in his apartment. So he would hide in the parking garage, and we would steal it once a month. Then when he caught on, he started hiding in some girl's apartment. He'd have 3-4 pounds at a time, because that's what he does. He's a promoter/weed dealer. So if you want to buy the good weed, you got to go to the parties and pay $20 to get in and buy weed. It was a great scam he had going on. What was I talking about? Oh.
Stealing Josh Wolf's weed.
So, no, we're talking about a drug thing.
Oh, yeah, the people who you met, your drug dealer in Hollywood.
So I met this kid, and I went over there a few times. The coke was good. You know, at this time, I didn't want to go to the store and buy it all the time. You know, when you're a junkie, you got to have a couple different outlets. Nobody catches on to what you're doing. So I had El Compadre. I had the Comedy Store, and I met this guy, and he goes, he'd get good coke, so he introduced me to this kid, and I would go over there. It was walking distance from my house, which is perfect in Hollywood, and I would walk over there and buy coke from him. It was him and a white dude at the time. And I would go over there and say hello, and they were playing those games. They were playing those stupid video games at the court. Then I went over there one time, and they had stitches. They got robbed, and they told me they didn't have a gun. I go, what type of drug dealers don't have guns? So I went and got them a piece.
How nice of you.
Yeah, and then we became friends ever since. And then I started going over there, but you were asking me their existence, how he still is in business. That was the conversation we had this night.
Yeah, how he could survive and not go to jail, like how he could survive and make a living.
At this time, right now, I talk to him once a month.
Okay.
And I know what type of action he does. I know how he does it. Mm-hmm. And I know how he moves. He's got kids, and he's very careful.
Okay.
He's ultra careful. Even years ago, very careful. Very careful.
All right.
He controlled everything from A to Z. Do you follow me?
In his whole life, or just
this operation he had. He would pick up at a certain place an hour away from here. But there's no days off. And people don't understand that. And when you have to stick to that program, like there's always something to do. What we always talk about. There's always something to do. Don't tell me there's something to do. You know what? Get up, change the light bulbs. Put that one over there and put that one over there. There's something to do. That Led Zeppelin thing got dust on it. There's always something to do. I said to you, take the other perspective. We were always talking about an ad salesperson.
right.
I said, start making calls. How much success did you have? Tremendous.
0.
No, you did great.
Oh, well, before.
Well, no. We had them reefer with the pin. They didn't want to lift the rock. You had them reefer people with the license and the app.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
couple.
You started getting a couple, and now you realize that you come in here on Sundays sometimes, and you come in, and you know what? This is a 6-day-a-week job for you.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? If you open up this podcast business, sorry, Charlie, this is a 7-day-a-week job. And if there's a leak on Friday night and you're in the movies with Paula, jumping up and down, watching one of those bad movies, guess what? You got to show up at that leak.
Oh, I know. It's to be quite honest, I'm not tired, but like it's like we were talking about. Did I think if Paula was ready? This is more work, and it's just it's the hours are weird. It's not that I don't enjoy it and love it and I'm pushing through it, but it's a grind. It's at certain points.
The podcast.
Not just the podcast, but then driving down to meet to do podcasts in Pasadena or in Beverly Hills or something like that, or sending emails, and it's like you just said earlier today that you're busy. You said you've been busy for years, so you're getting busier. Like it's just getting. I'm at a different point of being busy, and I'm like still getting used to it.
Well, you're learning all the possibilities that we could do with the podcast.
Right, yeah.
So right now you're exploring a lot of them where I don't have the time to explore a lot of them. On the other situation, and I got to tell you something. I'm just as busy as I am with stand-up. Do me a favor. Go to Onnit.com right now. Whether you're a hiker, a jiu-jitsu guy, a weightlifter, a kettlebell lifter, Onnit has something for you to optimize your workout and your life. Do me a favor. Go to Onnit.com right now. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for the love. Uncle Joey here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the church of what's happening now. My main man and little brother, Mr. Lee Syatt, here with me. It's been a while since we've been on. The last time we were on, I haven't seen you. You got sick all weekend.
Do you get the flu shot? I never get it, and now I think I'm going to.
You just got to wash your hands. But they say that putting that antibacterial on your hands is also bad for you because it breaks down your hand's own ability of breaking down germs.
Right, it breaks down your immune system. But the thing that blew my mind as I got older, when I grew up, my parents always stressed covering your nose, covering your mouth. I see people now just sneezing into the air.
We got no class. We got no nothing. I see people sneezing into their hand and opening up a door. The thing that gets me sick is when I smoke pot with people.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like if I smoke at night after a show, my adrenaline's so high, I'm just smoking to smoke. I don't get high till I go back to the hotel room. You have these charades in life when you're younger. What's going to happen? You know, you watch Pitbull and he's jumping up and down with 200 Spanish women. Or you watch, whatever. Whatever your illusion, which grabs you. Let me get one of those drops again. And you, when I was growing up, I had this thing. I always had this illusion. And then it became a charade.
You just started believing all the stuff you were saying?
Well, no, it wasn't what I was saying. And when I was like 17, I got it in my mind that when my mom died, that she had hidden money. And that when I was 21, I was going to get this money. And it was something that... It was either the money was hidden or my stepfather was going to sell the house and give me this exuberant amount of money that I thought I had coming to me.
And no one told you this. It was just in your head.
It was in my head. You know, I like the guy that's a millionaire that acts like the guy that has $3. That's the guy I want to be. If for some reason I invented oil and somebody gave me $10 billion, I would still drive my Subaru, Lee. You know, I would like to dress a little nicer with suits or whatever, but that would last for a week. Until I got into a car and rip a pair of pants like a gorilla that I am. There's so many things that I couldn't be. You know what I'm saying?
Like 2 or 3 years ago, I think we were still doing the podcast in my apartment. You mentioned that you were thinking about getting a Cadillac. Why didn't you decide to do that?
Oh, because a guy from a Cadillac dealership hit me up and said that he works in service and they were really bad cars.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was a money decision. Okay.
No. Well, part of it was a money decision. I was having a child, and I didn't want to pay $400, $500, $600 for a lease a month. I don't have anything to justify paying that much a month for a car for my lifestyle and what I do. You know, I don't need that. I don't need a $700 car payment. I don't understand that. I always wanted a car payment from being in the car business all those years. I always wanted a car payment that if something went wrong, I could always borrow it for 2 or 3 months. Like I've always said to you, I could come to you and go, Lee, I got a Subaru. Can I borrow $248 for 2 months? And I could probably get that from you. But if I come to you and say, I got a BMW 5 Series, can I borrow $750 from you for 2 months? You're going to go, it's time to sell that car.
Exactly. How many, speaking of people living in studio apartments in Hollywood, how many people have you seen driving one of those cars into a studio apartment?
It's break time. Fleet, I know you got the Fleet. You didn't get high tonight on that shit.
What are you talking about?
Less than $1,000 a month. From 95 to 2000. And snorting blow and buying clothes and child support and just putting it together, plane tickets. Then I met Terry. And she started lending me the little money that she had. But 2004 when I got the longest yard, that was the first. I mean, I had gotten a few paychecks, Spider-Man 2. I did a bunch of movies that I got paychecks on that took care of things to the next paycheck. But the big paycheck that bailed me out was the longest yard. And that didn't bail me out completely. That just bailed me out a quarter.
And so what happened at 30 that you stopped caring about being poor?
I hit rock bottom. Something I never thought would happen. I just hit rock bottom. That's it. I lost all my credit cards. I lost my wife. I lost my job. I lost everything. I had to start from scratch. In 1991 and 1993, I started from scratch at the age of 30. So once you have a little dough, you make dough, you get locked up, you sell some drugs, whatever. Now you lose everything. Once you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. Nothing really affects me now. Nothing really affects me. I keep my rent low. I keep my bills low. I'm not looking at my savings account. I just don't live like an animal. There's 1,000 things I could do. I just don't do it. Not because I'm cheap. I just don't want to do it. I don't understand.
Is it a fear of losing it again, do you think, or no?
Not at all. I don't do blow. I don't do anything that I would lose it.
But you could lose it a normal way, just the economy or I don't know.
What, the stock market? We're not stock markets. I go out on the weekend and make a living. A movie calls me up, I get union wages. There's nothing I can do about it. You know, yeah, it's going to slow up, it's going to dry up, and you're always prepared. I don't care if you have $20 million. You're always concerned if you're going to lose your money or lose what you've worked for. And I'm still slow. Hey, listen, we're human, plus I'm 53. My metabolism is a lot slower. That's what I went online. I talked to a trainer friend of mine. He goes, maybe you have to do those HIIT workouts, but he goes, I really don't want you to do an elliptical. I told him I was thinking about doing your workout. Go in the advanced class and roll more and get your heart going that way. I'd rather you do, Jesus Christ, just thinking about it. But it's great to be responsible, man. I don't know what goals you guys have or what you want to do, but log everything down. I log everything down. You know, and it's really weird. Weight Watchers teaches you that, to write everything down, and you look at it at the end of the week and you go, ooh, I went to Yum Yums and I ate 2 donuts that night, and I went to this place and I had a piece of Lee's cake. You know, sometimes if it's just 2 bites of a cake, I'll put a piece of cake. And you have to write in there subjectively and honestly. Like, I didn't do well tonight. You know, I just didn't do well. My timing was off. You know, I read one from, the reason why I'm talking about it is because I wrote the one, it's the end of the month. I wrote the one from Valentine's Day. I just said it 3 minutes in. Why would I say something like that? Little things. I can't listen to myself. That would really hurt my feelings. This is the closest I could do. But I have to be brutally honest with myself. If you're not brutally honest with yourself when you're record keeping, you're just cooking books. So why are you even doing it? If you just want to tell me that you did great, every night I did great, I killed, I lit that room on fire. Maybe in your world I lit that room on fire, but I did a set that I had been doing for the last 3 weeks. I got to knock that off. You follow me? That's what I write in there.
Where did this come from? Was this when you learned? Was this when you learned to write your goals down, or you?
I learned the comedy on my own. The comedy and the acting I learned on my own. I like looking back at things. I like looking back at things and see who you read for. Oh my God, I have a relationship with her. It's very important. I learned this from telemarketing. Anyway, like I said, man, this is what this podcast is about. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes we torture Lee. Sometimes they torture me. And sometimes we just, disclose things about your life. They keep a record of everything. I don't know why I started the comedy. It's really weird. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. You know, I do it now. I'm not going to lie to anybody. When I wake up in the mornings now, I sit and I relax with no music on, no sound, and I just let my mind go. And sometimes I get on the floor and I breathe, and sometimes I just sit there and just breathe and feel my internal. No matter how you look at it, it's a form of meditation. You know, let's be honest. Most of your problems start with your mind. Fear, anger, stress, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, they begin in your head, but they can wreck your life. It doesn't have to be that way. You can make a major difference in just 10 minutes a day. All right? 10 minutes a day. This change comes through guided meditation with the new Headspace app. You could show you, what are you talking about? Headspace is a meditation made simple.